Hey guys, iCast 2024. We're here at the Isles booth and they got a fancy new inflatable kayak that has some crazy technology that is gonna make it safer for you to be out there on the water. But since I don't have all the details, I do have, I forgot your name already. Jimmy! Hey, don't feel bad. I'm really bad with names.
Hey, me
like
too.
horrible.
I get it.
Okay, so John is gonna... Jimmy's gonna give us a full walkthrough rundown of this new skiff that they have, and also talk about the technology and why inflatables should be your boat of choice.
For me, as the product designer, this is the boat that I fish out of. So when it comes to designing this, I am thinking of it through the lens of an angler and how I'm going to use it and how I think other people are going to use it. But this is called the Flywater because it will fly over the water, and also I do a lot of fly fishing out of it, so it's a little bit of an ode to fly fishing, but it's certainly great for any type of fishing. What's unique about the hull is the fact that it's a catamaran. So this is a 42-inch wide boat that has an elevated floor. It's elevated 6 inches off the water, but at 42 inches wide, with all that stability, you get the speed of like a 30-inch wide typical kayak with a typical standard, displacement hull. So that's really cool because not only is this a kayak, but it's also a micro skiff. So you can set it up with a console seat, which we'll show you at the Bixby booth if we want to run over and just give you a quick clip of that, because we have this really cool console seat. I call it a console seat. It's an aluminum frame seat with a elevated position. So this kayak skiff hybrid, as we call it, very unique just from a performance standpoint. However, what makes it really unique for an inflatable, in addition to the fact that it's 49 pounds, easy to transport, throw it in the bag, is the fact that we have unique materials and construction that make it safer on the water and also more durable. Because those are two of the things as an angler that I think a lot of people have hesitation about with inflatables. And we wanted to solve those problems. So one of them has to do with safety. This is a 5-chamber inflatable. So we have a drop stitch floor, that's one chamber, and each pontoon has 2 chambers, and they're separated by a baffle. And the baffle is just a piece of material that is inside the tubes. And that material is cone-shaped. And so if one chamber fails, the pressure from the other will take that cone and shoot it up into the chamber that failed. So you'll maintain buoyancy in that section of the pontoon. So that is a really cool safety feature that we wanted to include in this boat. It's typically only found on really, really high-end, expensive, like $10,000, $20,000 boats. This is a $16.95 boat at our base price with 2 kayak seats. So great value, really cool safety feature. When it comes to durability, and a lot of times it's like, oh, there's an inflatable, I'm dealing with rocks, I'm dealing with oyster beds, I'm dealing with barnacles. Well, we've really spent time developing a material, and we patented a material called infinity fiber that we put into the bottom of the pontoons. It's difficult to see this material, but I'm going to show you with this little demonstration over here. But it's sandwiched here underneath our non-skid PVC, which in and of itself is super durable. But that infinity fiber material is a high-performance composite that's patented, and we're the only ones that have this material. We've been using it in our hybrid paddleboard kayaks, and we won Popular Science Innovation of the Year last year for this material. Here's what's so cool about it. It's super, super rigid. So this is a standard inflatable drop stitch panel at 15 PSI, and we can see, sure, it's pretty good. It's still pretty rigid, but it flexes in the middle. With our infinity fiber material on that same panel, same inflation pressure, when I stand on this, it is insanely rigid, and because this material is actually carbon fiberglass embedded in a thermoplastic matrix, you're getting incredible durability out of this. And that's why we put it not only in the bottom of the pontoons, but on the transom. So this panel, imagine this is across at your transom. You can see the materials here in our transom. That allows the transom to hold the motor, and you'll have zero flex with your motor on this transom. So in addition to the performance features of the design, in addition to the material, we have tons of features on this boat. So we have a splash guard, and the splash guard is great both for kayaking or under e-propulsion to prevent splash over. It's really nice. We have a carry handle at the front. We have 2 carry handles on the side. We have 4 universal mounts. We have it set up right now with our YakGadget switch pads. Super convenient and easy to take off. We also have a ram mount accessory. It'll work, it's universal, it'll work with any accessory you want to put on it. We also have our patented IO-Link connection system. So this connection system with these webbing loops is patented. We developed this with our hybrid paddleboard kayaks, and we've now used it on this Flywater boat. The reason it's really cool is, one, it looks simple, but these webbing loops and how we assemble this, it's very, very durable. And we pair it with these 3/16 stainless steel custom G-hooks, which have 100 kilogram braking strength. So this system is super bomber, and it gives you total flexibility to either strip everything off and have nothing, really simple setup if you want to go minimalist, or you can rig it up however you want. This is a footrest, and you can see how it's clipped in here. I can reposition that depending on your height. I can position my seat exactly where I want it. I can take the seat and turn it around if I want to have 2 people facing each other out on the water. So there's just a ton of versatility that this IO-Link system offers. We have our fishing crate here. The fishing crate is IO-Link compatible, so it clips into our IO-Link system as well. So coming to the stern, we have 2 additional carry handles in the back, and underneath on the bottom, we do have 2 fin boxes. And these fin boxes are here. Currently installed is our, what we call our bumper fin. The bumper fin just adds additional protection on the bottom of the boat at the stern here. And we have, of course, our infinity fiber material running all the way up this entire pontoon in case you encounter rocks, barnacles, oyster beds, whatever it might be. You can swap this bumper fin out with a 4.5-inch fin for improved tracking. I like to do that if I'm just going out kayaking, using it under kayak propulsion, because it just adds that nice tracking element to the boat. The other thing to mention that's probably, I don't want to mention one of the most important features, which is our custom motor mount. So this system features a total of 4 attachment brackets that have a total of 8 screws. So there's 8 screws. They're super easy to connect a Bixby using just 4 of them, because you only need 4. This is the power pull hole pattern, which a lot of you may be familiar with. So we're using that hole pattern, very simple for attaching this Bixby. If I want to install a larger motor, we have an adapter plate that covers this entire area with the aluminum plate, and that spreads the load up onto the boat more so that it will accept the torque. Now, of course, the infinity fiber will accept the pressure. You'd have no problem. This will never flex under the load of that motor, under the torque, but this also prevents it from twisting and gives it that durability that you need for a larger motor on this boat.
And that goes up to like 5 horsepower?
Yeah, we recommend up to 5 horsepower, and we do that just based on what we've experienced, what works really well. You know, I can run a Torqeedo ultralight on this, and I'm going 8 miles an hour, which I think is the highest speed of any kayak that they've tested. From what I've seen, when I'm running the Bixby, I'm at like 4, can get up to 5 sometimes. So, you know, the kayak, this kayak being a catamaran, that's why you can achieve that speed even though you have the width, because you're only running on those pontoons. You're not trying to push the whole entire hull through the water. You know, it's not a perfect science of like our recommendation of a 5. You could certainly use a 6 on this. That's our recommendation for us. I know for sure this transom is going to handle the weight and load, right? So there's no problem there. And this can also accept a transom. So you can actually put a transom on this to work with like an outboard if you wanted to. The reason we personally like this pole steering versus a little outboard with like a tiller extender. So imagine you have your tiller extender and you want to sit up here, right? And imagine you have all your gear. Now with the tiller extender, okay, I want to turn left. I want to turn right. Well, I'm not turning right because I'm running into all my gear that I'm trying to put there. With this, I'm just going forward, backwards, forwards, backwards. Super simple, super easy. So we really like this steering system. I can also lock it in. What I'll do a lot of times is I'll get my motor to the position I want for a certain turning radius. I'll lock it in place, and then I'll cast and I'll just go in a circle to fish a certain area. So it's another fun way to use this pole steering. So we are working on a pole steering hands-free, but what we've done for that is have a small attachment on the pole. So the pole can actually go and be extended. So you can run this up along the boat further. So you can imagine, and we've tested this actually including with a magnet system, where you have the magnet on your shoe, on your footwear, and you have a magnet here, and you can actually clip on, and then with your foot, you're just steering with your foot like this, so you're hands-free. We're still developing that product, but it's certainly something that we know, as anglers, that's super important to be able to be hands-free, and that's going to come down the road.
I think you could rig it up easy. Look, you put like the steering cables under maybe a tiny PVC pipe, and you run it all the way back, and you connect it to the motor, and you put the footrest here using these things because they're strong there. I think you could do it with foot control, a normal kayak.
100%. This definitely can be set up with steering cables. There's no question about it. We're trying to simplify setup.
Yeah.
But for if you're the type of person that loves the DIY and wants to do like that type of setup, we encourage it. And if you would like to try one of these and set it up that way, we'd love to see what you think. But
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I review everything.
Yeah.
There's
exactly.
no preferences on what I get. I give it the same treatment.
Yeah.
And so this, I thought that this was an individual piece that would just plug in here, but it's part of the whole, right? This middle piece.
That's right. So when we designed this, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You've probably seen some boats where the pontoons are separate, and then you have a separate piece that comes out as the drop stitch floor. We don't do that here. It's all one unit, and that makes it way easier to set up, way easier to keep it clean, because with the ones where the floor comes out, you have water going underneath that, you have potential mold, mildew, it gets kind of cruddy under there. So with this, it's way simpler to maintain. I'll get this boat home, I'll shoot it and spray it down with a hose, and I'm done, right? And if I want to deflate it and pack it, it's all one unit, right? So I'm like deflating this, and it's under 10 minutes for me to deflate this, get it back in the bag. And we actually have one in the bag packed up if you want to see what that looks like. It packs down really small. It's way smaller than this bag. We oversized the bag for two reasons.
Please.
Yes. One, what you're saying is because you always want to be able to get it back in. Maybe you don't pack it as well as we do, right? That's one. Two, you want to bring along extra gear and keep it all in one bag. So that lets you do that with this little oversized bag.
The tube has the same pressure that the metal compartment has, or there are different levels of?
They're different. So drop stitch, for those of you that may not know how drop stitch works, it's two panels with threads connected, just thousands of threads connecting the top and bottom panel. You can go higher pressure there because all those threads are creating the ability for it to hold a higher pressure. With pontoons, there's nothing in there. It's just a tube with air, right? So these are 5 psi. The floor is 15 psi. But at 5 psi, we've gone to 5 psi as our recommendation. It's a little higher than some other brands will recommend 4, but we're really confident in our material. We spend a lot of time working with our suppliers on these materials. This is a custom 0.9 millimeter PVC for the main body of the tubes. We use a 1.1 millimeter non-skid PVC for the rail guard, as well as for the bottom of the pontoons that we then sandwich the infinity fiber in that we talked about.
So oysters, have you run it over oysters?
I have not personally run it over oysters, but I have tested the material with essentially like, if you've ever seen a Sureform tool, which is a tool that you can essentially looks like little oysters. So we've like run it over that for testing. And we've also taken, screwdrivers to this material, and it is really, really durable. Can I tell you you couldn't possibly somehow damage it or pop it? No. Like, I can't say that about any inflatable, but I can tell you from our experience in testing around barnacles and rocks where we have had it, because I live in Rhode Island, that's where I do my fishing. We have lots of rocks with lots of barnacles. And so this thing has been run over in those conditions at up to 8 miles an hour, going in and out of the river that I fish out of, going into the ocean. It gets really shallow, and you're rubbing up against barnacles and rocks. And we've had no problems, and we're excited for this to be something that gives people that confidence to go out on an inflatable, knowing they've got all 5 chambers, they've got the safety features, they have that additional durability on the pontoons.
Inflatable seats are nice and fun, but they look ugly.
Yeah, well.
So what solution do you have for those who like style?
Yeah, well, our seat has been super popular. I know this may not look as good. We were working on an aluminum frame swivel console seat. We're a really small team. I run the company and I also do the product development. So as a small team, we only have so much time. So bear with us.
What is that seat over there at the Bisbee one?
Oh, we're going to show you one that we did work on, but I don't have a swivel seat yet. That's what I'm getting at. But we've got a really cool console seat. We call it a console seat. Let's go check it out. It's at the Bixby booth.
We're gonna check it out soon. But here's the thing: you don't need a 360 seat with inflatable. You're not flipping, right?
No, you're not flipping.
So you can just jump around.
Yeah, no, you can just flip around. But I think to your point around this seating solution, this is really comfortable. It's also really portable. This thing fits in the bag. 2 of these seats fit in the bag. And when you try this, Alex, when we get you one, you try it, you'll be like, oh wow, that seat's really comfortable. Maybe it's not the favorite from in the perspective of what it looks like, but it's really comfortable. We've been using these for years on our really well received hybrid paddleboard kayaks, and people love these seats.
Can you talk about them briefly before we go and show them the professional seat?
Yeah. So this is actually our Tommy Bahama collection. We work with Tommy Bahama. They approached us. They wanted us to use our technology and expertise to develop their water sports range. So this is the Tommy Bahama Switch. The Switch is our model. It's our flagship model as a hybrid paddleboard that turns into a kayak. And it has our patented ILink system on it. And this one has the seat installed with the foot brace, which also comes with the Flywater boat. Same concept here for the Flywater. But the nice thing is this seat is locked in. This is not some floppy inflatable seat. This is a permanently installed seat. I can pick the entire boat up by this seat. It's currently on the stand. No, this is like not going anywhere, right? So this seat has actually won awards for us because of its simplicity and comfort. And a foot brace is super important, in case you don't know, because that's what allows you to engage your core when you're kayaking and paddling. And it's also way more comfortable. It takes pressure off your lower back. So yeah, that's our ILink system. That's our current inflatable seating solution. Super portable, super lightweight. But we do have another seating solution that is more in the aluminum frame style.
So these are available online. I'm gonna put an affiliate link so you can buy it directly from you. They just ship it in. I mean, you just ship it in a box, right?
Yeah, no, we ship it to you, and they're going to be available end of August. We have our first shipment available. You can go to our website now and you can sign up. Drop your email in, and we'll let you know when they come. We've already had a ton of interest, so we are going to basically be having this first small, limited quantities arriving, get them while they last this fall. Then we'll have a full quantity arriving in the spring.
Awesome. All right, so Bisbee is over there. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is how iCast look when you're walking through the show. The last day. I'd say it's probably 2 more hours before they started blasting the music.
Yep. So you'll start hearing the sounds of people taking down all their booths. But this is Bixby. We work with the folks at Bixby. They're great. They make a really great 1 horsepower motor. That's what I call it. It's equivalent to 1 horsepower. And they've got one of our Flywaters set up here. And I love the setup over here because it features our aluminum frame console seat. And I call it a console seat because, like I said, this is a skiff kayak hybrid. And so this becomes your console, like a center console on a little boat, right? So it's aluminum frame. It's very light. It packs down really small because portability is big for us. However, when you get it set up like this, you've got an aluminum base with gear tracks. We've got some YakGadget accessories already on it, but this is really durable for any kind of gear and accessories. So you could, if you put your seat forward, what I like to do, if I have somebody I'm bringing along, and it's usually my daughter who I'm taking fishing, I'll stand behind it with this lean post, so it's a lean post, and I'll steer from back here, and she'll be up front, and I'll be essentially guiding her as she's fishing off the front. So that's super fun way to have 2 people on this, but I'll also sit in the seat myself, super comfortable. You know, this is a standard height seat, it's like a chair, like a regular chair, so it's very comfortable. And you have your gear tracks along the side. We have this set up with your steering holder. It's basically a paddle holder that we just repurposed for your steering, to hold your steering. And then you can attach rod holders. I'll put my throttle on here as well when I run it with my Torqeedo. So I'll put my throttle control here. So I'm sitting in the seat, just steering with my throttle, really simple. And the way they have it set up, they've actually got their solar panel up here for the motor, which you can lay into this boat really easily. It actually fits perfectly if you wanted to have that up front to extend your range. It's just standard seating height, which is the standard, like your chair at home. That's the height of this seat. We're attaching it with the Aliex system using stainless steel carabiners. What's cool about the Aliex system is everywhere we have our Aliex system with these really rugged, durable, custom webbing loops, they can all convert into essentially a D-ring, if you will, by using these stainless steel carabiners that we sell, or you can use your own carabiners to clip in however you want to do it. I just want to say thanks for stopping by. I'm actually a fan of the channel. I love the content you put out there. It's super real, super authentic. That's what we like. You know, it's telling it like it is. And we're happy to have you hopefully get this thing on the water and give your audience and give the customers more input on this cool little boat that we're certainly in love with, and we hope you love it too.
Hey, I'm always open to review, especially inflatables. I'm loving inflatables, man, because like you said, it takes you 15 minutes to set up, and it's easy. You don't have to carry heavy 150-pound kayaks.
Yeah,
especially if you're going on vacation. Yeah.